I'm from webgains, and I head up the sales and development team for advertising agencies at webgains. Before I was at webgains, I was at a company called Commission Junction, which is also a global affiliate network. Some of you may have heard of it, I'm not sure. And before that, my background was in traditional magazine publishing. I worked for a company called Haymarket Business Publications, which is a massive publisher of magazines in the UK. The biggest magazine I worked on that was a magazine called Revolution, which is the UK's online trade marketing title. And it was there I really learnt the ropes about what the online marketing business is. Now, the reason I'm here today to talk to you about international affiliate trends is that webgains has grown really, really quickly and is now a global affiliate network. It was established in the UK in 2005 by two guys, one guy called Robert Glasgow, another guy called Peter Dunham, and they were from a network called Affiliate Window. When they started webgains, they really wanted to have a global company. Robert is married to a French lady, and Peter's married to a German lady. And I guess they thought their family's international, so let's make the company international. They could have done that organically, which might have taken a long time, but in May 2006, we merged with AdPepper, a big German network. There's a stand out there. Come and visit us. We'd love to talk to you guys. With the merger with AdPepper, it really gave a cash injection into the company so we could grow, and we launched in Germany and France in 2006, the Benelux region, Denmark and Sweden in 2007, and then most recently Spain and the USA in 2008. And I do apologize if I'm talking too quickly and realize that for a lot of you guys, English isn't your first language, so I'll try and slow it down. So what are we going to cover? Well, I'm going to look at the history of affiliate marketing. Where has it come from? What's happening? What's happening 12 years ago and what's happening now? And actually how that history has developed, current trends in the market, and also what we can foresee in the future. Then we're going to look at individual markets in turn, some key markets in Europe and the USA. And there's a bit of interaction in the end. I naturally need your help at some point, so I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and I'd like some responses if that's possible. So let's look at a brief history of affiliate marketing. The early years. Affiliate marketing really took off in the UK in 1999. And affiliate marketing, for those of you who don't know, and I'm sorry if a lot of you do know what it means, but I'm going to explain it, the very basics of it. It means CPA advertising, or commission-based advertising. And that's where an advertiser only pays for their advertising when a sale is made or when an action is made on the merchant's website. For example, that could be a consumer going through to a website and buying a pair of shoes, or someone going through to a website and giving them some information, such as their email address and their home address, and that would be lead generation. In that respect, it's a very low-risk form of advertising, or in many respects, it's a no-risk form of advertising. I personally had my first experience of affiliate marketing back in 1997, when I joined the Amazon affiliate program. And at the time, I actually didn't know what being an affiliate meant. But I just designed and built a website for my dad, who was interested in restoring old British motorbikes. And he would recommend books to his visitors who were interested in reading more about the bikes which my dad was writing about. And in return, Amazon would pay us a 5% commission on the price of every book that we sold to the site. Needless to say, we didn't actually make hundreds of pounds or even thousands of pounds, but it was giving me a bit of pocket money for a hobby that my dad had. It was money for old rope. And suddenly, it felt really good every time we were earning a commission, and I knew I was onto something. As I'll point out later, content sites like niche sites about old British bikes or hobbies or something you're passionate about really still are important. They're really still king in the eyes of the merchant. Post-1999, with the emergence of long-tail websites, that's content sites with niche-specific URLs and high-converting search terms, affiliate marketing really took off. And between 2001 and 2004, there was an explosion of networks and companies joining the affiliate marketing industry. At the time, I mentioned I was working on a magazine called Revolution, which is the UK's online trade magazine. And we were running weekly articles on affiliate marketing, and our pages were full of adverts from new companies entering the market, all with different CPA tracking solutions and catalogs of new merchants that affiliates could promote. From 2005 onwards, there was a consolidation of networks. Merchants were no longer on every network that were available. They might have been coming down to one or two networks. And certainly networks were buying each other as well. In the UK, there's currently 6 big players and countless other smaller players, but it's really where the 6 players merge that you now have a market. Broadband penetration obviously was key to the growth of the industry as well. The more a consumer has access to the internet and is more comfortable with the internet, can reach sites which have dynamic content on them, the more the industry grew. More recently, there's been a reversal of market perceptions. Companies have now recognized that affiliate marketing is a really important part of their marketing and sales budgets. And we can see there's been a shift in perception from a place to dump advertising or distressed inventory on hobby websites, people working in their bedrooms on sites they've just created, through to really, really sophisticated websites. So it's now an advertiser-led, low-risk marketing channel and solution. Affiliates as well have become more professional. They've invested all this money that they've earned back into this channel, back into the websites that they've had, and they've developed different technologies themselves to be able to drive more traffic. Most recently in the UK, there's been an instance of a company that's earned so much money, they actually bought the network through which they were driving most of their sales. And these companies are so large that they're employing really big numbers of people and developing their own technology. We call them super affiliates. But along with these super affiliates, there's been a resurgence of the long-tail websites in the form of blogs. And this is where niche and content really comes into its own. And I mentioned merchants love these websites. They're product-specific, and research has shown that it's these websites that are driving the highest conversions, and they've got the most loyal consumers, if not the highest volumes. This growth has basically turned around the perception of affiliate marketing. As I said, advertisers now see affiliate marketing as key to their marketing strategy. And it's meant that global companies need global solutions. And by that, I mean that advertisers are turning to networks that are able to have reach into foreign markets and have the tools and resource to deal with everything that entails. And a simple thing like invoicing in multiple currencies and then paying an affiliate in their preferred currency is just one of these issues that networks have. Of course, the economic downturn as well has had it's actually had a positive effect on affiliate marketing. Firstly, it's meant that advertisers who traditionally would have put their budgets in a CPM marketing strategy or a CPC strategy are now turning to CPA for the lower risk. Because essentially, branding is free using CPA. Vodafone, for example, on a CPM advertising strategy would be paying every time their advert was seen 1,000 times. Well, using a CPA strategy, that advert can be seen 1,000,000 times, and you only pay for it when a consumer clicks on the Vodafone advert, goes through to a Vodafone store, buys a phone. In turn, this has had an effect on the consumer as well. A consumer in the current economic climate, not cash rich anymore, is always going to look for the lowest price to buy something. I mean, this is the resurgence of price comparison websites have led to consumers going online to buy. But first of all, the internet was always going to be the first place for someone to go to when they wanted to buy somewhere cheaper than on the high street. The recent economic difficulty also have had an effect on the networks in that merchants are now putting pressure on the override that networks charge. And the override is how a network actually makes their money. And merchants are now increasingly asking more and more from the account management that networks offer, and more from the technology that's available. But that's also driven the networks really to constantly increase the amount of technology which they have. So, this history has basically created some self-evident truths for the industry. These are namely that, one, growth has been extraordinary. No other industry, possibly search, other than search, has grown so quickly and will continue to grow. And this is driven by these factors here. One is the appearance of long-tail websites, and they're continuing to pop up every day. That's the really exciting thing about the affiliate industry, that websites are continually appearing. The move from advertisers to the lower risk model, that's constantly happening and will happen more and more. Full transparency of transactions. What we mean by this is that a merchant can log on to a network platform and see not only who is sending them traffic and who is sending them sales, but where exactly that sale has come from. What specific web page has driven that sale? Or what specific banner has driven that sale? Or what specific piece of text has driven that sale? And as a channel, it can really, really be optimized. And this is obviously driving forward the growth. And lastly, growth, broadband penetration as well. In the UK, we're up to about 80%. Some of the Nordic countries are really leading the way with nearly, full broadband penetration. The other self-evident truth is that consumers are seizing opportunities to save money. And I mentioned this earlier. People aren't cash rich anymore. In the UK, we've had a huge growth in the amount of voucher code sites that we've had. This is where people are going online and typing in the product which they want to buy and then the word voucher into Google. So I recently bought a Hotpoint dishwasher for my flat, and I went online and typed in Hotpoint dishwasher and voucher and found a voucher code for 20% off a Hotpoint dishwasher, bought it online. Everyone's doing that in the UK. Lastly, the other self-evident truth is that cross-border retail will grow. Absolutely. The internet itself fosters cross-border retail. If I want to buy an expensive product, I don't mind buying it from the States, for example, where I know the retail price is 20% less than it is in the UK. I'm waiting a week for it to arrive. That doesn't bother me at all, and it doesn't bother most people at all either. There's been a growth in credit formats available. PayPal, obviously everyone has access to PayPal now, and in the Eurozone, we can't disqualify the importance of the euro. For us in the UK, personally, I wish we were in the euro. I mean, many people in the UK love their pound. I hate it. But in the euro, it's really important that you guys are able to buy something from your neighbors in the same currency. There's been a pressure on banks to lower fees for cross-border payments across the EU, and that's great. I mean, there's still some way to go. I'll go into this further, but there's a point that my MD was telling me the other day about why we don't pay some people in pounds, or there's some differences in how we pay people. And he was saying that within the Eurozone, it costs 70 euro cents for an international transaction with our bank. From the UK into the Eurozone, it costs us 17 pounds for every transaction. So now we've seen how the affiliate market has grown and where we stand, let's look at some of the current trends in more detail and the individual markets in turn. Now, these first 2 points I've already covered fairly. I wonder if there's a point on it. It doesn't. These first 2 points I've covered already, that CPA is continuing to grow from strength to strength. But it's up there because we don't actually see a plateau in it. It's continual growth. It hasn't flattened out at all. The second thing is that consumers are turning to voucher codes and cashback sites. Now, that's very true in the UK. But in the Eurozone, certain countries have only actually changed the legality of these sites. Certainly in Denmark, voucher code sites weren't legal until recently. And the same with cashback sites. And I don't know if you all know what a cashback site is, but it means that it's a website where you can go and search for a specific merchant, and you'll go through to that merchant site and buy your product, and that cashback site will pay you, the consumer, the commission they've earned back from the affiliate, back from the merchant. How these cashback sites work is they charge you a membership fee to join up, or for the first £5 that you earn as a consumer, they'll keep as a fee. There's huge growth in the UK market. The other trend is there's an issue surrounding last-click wins. Now, last-click wins is how the CPA model, or how affiliate marketing currently works. To put this into context, it means that the last affiliate that a consumer has visited is going to be the affiliate that earns the commission. If you look at a customer journey for someone that's buying a new laptop, for example, if I went online to buy myself a new Sony Vaio, I'd go to Google and type in Sony Vaio laptop. I might visit some review websites that review different laptops and decide, right, this is the Sony Vaio laptop I want, I've fallen in love with it, I'm going to buy that. But the next place I might go to would be a price comparison site, because I know that different retailers are offering the same laptop at different prices. So I find the retailer that I want it from at the right price. And then lastly, I might visit a cashback site. So I know that that retailer is going to give me cash for actually buying from them in the next instance. Well, I go through to the cashback site, go through to the merchant, buy my laptop, and it's only the cashback site which will earn the commission, even though on my customer journey when I first went online, I've probably been influenced by 5 or 6 different areas. It'd be like, I don't know what the local football team here is in Utrecht, but it'd be like having the local football team here and only paying the guy that scores the goals. I mean, that wouldn't really work, and certainly, unfortunately, that's how the affiliate industry works at the moment. But at the strength and pace that this industry grows and develops technology, we can see that there will be networks which will develop a technology that will enable to track the full consumer path and ensure every affiliate is earning something of that commission pie. How that will work at the moment is anyone's guess. This leads on to affiliates wanting more and more transparency about what's happening to the sales they're generating. Affiliates have absolutely zero merchant loyalty. It's a really, I mean, sometimes affiliates, I hear a sharp intake of breath when I say that. But if merchants are turning away 1 or 2 sales out of every 10 because of X, Y, or Z reason, affiliates quickly dump that merchant and move on to the next one. They don't stick around with the same merchant. And affiliates have developed their own in-house tracking solutions, these super affiliates, so they can see what their consumers are doing on their sites and where they're going. So they will ask the merchants, wait a minute, what happened to this sale? Why didn't I get it? And they're wanting more and more transparency. And that's really when networks have come into their own and be able to develop their own tracking solutions and really foster that relationship between an affiliate and a merchant. Affiliates are developing their own tools and gadgets to enable bigger conversions as well. Lots of our affiliates have developed social tools to go on things like Facebook. They're developing videos which can embed affiliate links, and they're developing widgets and all sorts of other exciting little things for blogs. These last 2 points, agencies, advertising agencies in the UK and certainly in France and Germany are also offering now an affiliate solution. So whereas as a merchant you may have traditionally gone to your network, whether that be webgains or one of the other ones, and said, I want account management, I need someone who knows the industry to manage my account, who has knowledge of the sector which I operate in, who is able to optimize my channel. Well, if the agencies are now saying, well, look, we know your brand better than anyone else because we work with you in search and display and maybe even offline, so why can't we handle your affiliate side as well? And certainly there's been a shift in resource from the network channel. Lots of my friends have been poached and now working for agencies, and these guys are now managing affiliate accounts from an agency side. Following on from that, agencies are also buying what we call white label solutions. So they're buying their own tracking software, recruiting the super affiliates, those affiliates which are driving the really high volumes and the big revenues, and putting those their merchants on their own internal network. Now, obviously, I'm from a network side, and I also run the advertising agency team, so I'm not going to say whether I think that's a good thing or a bad thing. Lastly, the last trend I want to cover is fraud. Fraud continues to be a problem, not just for the affiliate industry. I think it's the same across the internet as a whole. We're finding that it tends to come from Indonesia and China, and it's a case of cloned credit cards being used to purchase products through affiliate sites. And networks have developed their own tools and strategies for dealing with these. And certainly at webgains, we can check IP addresses and do geo-targeting and all sorts of things. So there's some current trends. But before we look at each individual country in turn, I want to look at the European market as a whole. There's one word that really sums up the European market, and that word is fragmented. There's loads of local networks. I thought, my view of the Benelux area, this area here we call Benelux, I thought there was 10 local networks. I was having a chat to one of my colleagues, and she was saying, actually, there's 20. In fact, there's probably 25. So there are loads of local networks. In the UK, I mentioned we have 6 big players, but on our own UK affiliate forum, the AFU forum, it actually lists 32, but there's actually 6 key ones. Of those 6 key ones, only 3 of those are European or pan-European, true pan-European networks. And there's very few affiliates that actually operate across borders. And I don't think that's something to do with banking regulations or payments. It's more to do with the language barrier, because it's simpler for them to just operate a site in their own language. And then lastly is that different affiliates have different strengths in different markets. In the UK, I mentioned cashback sites are really driving loads of traffic, cashback and voucher sites. In Denmark, for example, it's more about the niche hobbyist sites. In Holland at the moment, there's been a big growth in voucher sites. So there's a different strength for everywhere you go. The other thing is that there are really low barriers to selling internationally across to allow merchants to expand across borders. There's nothing stopping a merchant saying, well, I'm going to have a French website, I'm going to have a German website, and I'm going to have a Dutch website. There's absolutely nothing. So the low barriers there. So really networks should be really encouraging their merchants to think outside of their local borders. I mentioned these banking regulations have been harmonised, and it costs £17 for us to send something into Europe, and certainly in the US it's even worse. There is some way to go, and I think there's going to be a law coming in soon that actually helps that for us Brits anyway. So, what defines the difference between markets? There's lots of different things, but these include, and I'm not going to go through every single thing here because I want to leave some room for questions at the end. But one of the main differences between markets is the size of the opportunity. What size is the local population? What is the GDP? What's the disposable income of that country? How many online merchants are there in that country? And what is the value and quantity of online retail transactions? And by that, I also mean, are the people in that country actually comfortable buying online? That's really important. And also broadband penetration. Of course, the higher the broadband penetration, the more likely it is people are going to be spending online. And also I mentioned the different types of affiliates. We always say you should never put your eggs in one basket as a merchant, so you should never be relying on just content sites. So you want to make sure there's a wide spread of different business models. There should be PPC affiliates, price comparison affiliates, cashback affiliates, voucher affiliates, content affiliates, a whole mixture. Also, how quickly are these affiliates adapting, and taking on new technology? Are they able to do cashback? Are they able to do and understand what a discount voucher is? Is there such a thing as mobile marketing in this country? Can you do mobile tracking? Are affiliates using widgets? And also, in the UK, the UK is very reliant on what we call product data feed driven websites. This is where a merchant gives us a database of every single product they have, and the affiliates can tap into that database and have those products online and feed it straight through to the content on the merchant side. In the UK, that's really big. In the Nordic countries, it's not at all. No one's really taken it up. But you should really encourage that in your local area. And also in the UK, we have a really popular online forum called the Affiliates for You forum. And that's really where every affiliate goes to ask their colleagues and also networks and also agencies, what should I be doing next? How do I develop this site? What's the newest piece of technology? And that's a really collegiate approach to the industry. And also, of course, there's different regulations and different laws in each country. We've got the IAB in the UK and now here in Europe, and they're really driving forward some really good laws and some good white papers. I have my first graph, and I like graphs because it must be true what's said in the graph. That's what I've always been told. But this graph I threw together yesterday, so excuse me for its roughness. But this graph is looking at along the y-axis, the GDP per head of population, or the disposable income of that country. Along the bottom, we've got broadband penetration, and the blobs each represent a different country, and the size of the blob represents the population in that country. So by looking at this graph, in the top right-hand corner here, you've got Benelux, Sweden, and Denmark. And you think, well, I'm going to start my business up there because the opportunity is fantastic. Well, actually, those countries have relatively small populations, and the laws regulating online buying and affiliate marketing in those countries are fairly strict. As I said, Denmark's only just legalized voucher sites, and in Sweden, cashback sites are still illegal. You can't give someone cash back on a purchase that they've bought. You can give them another product, just not cash. So in the middle here, you've got Germany, France, and the UK. That's probably a good place to hedge your bets. Certainly, the broadband penetration is good, the GDP is good, and the population is good. But also, those markets have been really quick to adopt new technologies. They're using, as I mentioned, these data feed sites. They're adopting widgets. The affiliates have got great inertia behind them, and programs really grow very, very quickly. Down in the bottom corner here, you've got Spain. And it fell off the stage. Down at the bottom corner here, you've got Spain. That was embarrassing. That looks like an absolutely terrible place to launch your business. Actually, it's pretty good because Spain's suffering from a big depression at the moment. As I said, depression actually promotes growth in affiliate marketing because more people are turning to online buying and more people are turning to cashback sites. Also, Spain opens up really big markets. You've got access to the whole Latin American market in Spain. At the top, obviously really hard to ignore, is the USA. It certainly is the biggest market in terms of population and certainly sales. However, it also has numerous problems. Firstly, the market is really saturated. And for every product you want to launch there, there'll be 5 or 6 competitors that have already been there for years. And they've already established themselves, and they're benefiting from the economies of scale that you won't have. And the other thing about the USA, it's a really unregulated market. The IAB haven't set up any council and don't look like they're going to be doing so. There's lots of spam in the USA. There's lots of pop-ups and pop-unders, lots of scrupulous different practices. What isn't on here, and you probably say, some of you are probably thinking, well, what's missing is China and India. China now has more people on the internet than the USA and probably all those markets put together. Well, this is a market that webgains hasn't launched into yet. And it's something I guess we will be somewhere down the line, but unfortunately we can't give you any insight to it, but I think it's going to be a really interesting area to look at in the future. Okay, this is where I need your interaction. What we're going to do, each slide here has some different points about a country. So this represents a country here. And I'm going to pick out some points, and I want you to tell me which country you think it is. There's an obvious clue on this one, actually. This is probably the easiest one. But this country, their cashback sites are important. There's been a movement towards post-impression tracking. Email marketing is still probably the biggest sector in this market. The big clue at the bottom is they have the collectif de plateforme d'affiliation. Anyone? Guess the country? Thank you, France. Yes, that's France. Okay. Big clue at the top. This place is the Wild West. Unscrupulous business practices. Cookie stuffing, post-impression cookie dropping. Huge amounts of media broking. The biggest market, but certainly the most competition. Any guesses? USA, yeah. Well done. Okay, this market was worth 210 million euro in 2008. Agencies dominate this market. I guess the biggest clue on here is that there's a conservative population where security is concerned. Germany, well done. Okay, biggest clue up the top. European leader in innovative affiliate marketing. Maybe I'm biased, I don't know. 32 networks listed on a platform, but 6 are really big players. The IAB is leading the market here. Yeah, good guess. Okay, hopefully you'll get this one. This is 68% of consumers in this country use online banking. They're really used to the internet. They love using it. They trust it with their own money. 64% of retailers have sold cross-border in the past year. Again, highest in the EU. I said there was 10 networks. Actually, I was told today there's a lot more. Any guesses? Benelux, yeah. Okay, this place has the highest penetration of broadband in Europe. The population's fairly low, but they really shoot above their weight. Lots of people using mobiles there. 3G is really prevalent. It's Denmark. Close enough. Okay, this one. Popularity of hybrid campaigns. People in this country are mixing their CPA with their CPC budget. Very few voucher sites. In fact, there's no cashback sites because they're illegal. Sweden, yeah.